Hello everybody, my name is Sakshi Yadav and today we are going to study about Bhakti cult and Sufi heritage. Module 1 Bhakti Heritage of South India. This presentation is made by Yamini. The Indian culture, often labeled as an amalgamation of several various cities, spans across the Indian subcontinent and has been influenced and shaped by a history that is several thousand years old. They have been credited with shaping of Indian philosophy, literature, architecture, art, and music. Indian culture is the heritage of social norms, ethical values, traditional customs, belief systems, political systems, artifacts, and technologies that originated in or are associated with the subcontinent. Salvation is always self attained in dharmic traditions, and a more appropriate term would be moksha, liberation, or mukti, release. Moksha can be attained by sadhana, literally, means of accomplishing something. The assistance of is a form of self-sacrifice on the part of the teachers, who would presumably be able to achieve those detachment from worldly concerns, but have instead chosen to remain engaged in the material world to the degree that is necessary to assist others in achieving such detachment. It was believed that attaining moksha for common man was impossible. The medieval society was under the impression that common people were not eligible for such a destiny. Moreover, human free will gives Hindus the opportunity to reject God. They may perform bad acts against dharma, for instance, murder or rape. This leads to a bad reaction, and this concept is called karma. As a result, bad influences can lead to humans losing control of their senses and unable to attain moksha. Furthermore, human free will has led to suffering and evil in the world. Moral evil can cause some Hindus to go against the rule of ahimsa and influence them to do wrongdoings, like eating meat and not caring for the planet. Therefore, the soul is impure and cannot break away from the cycle of sansar in order to be one with God. The medieval society was under the impression that common people were not eligible for such destiny. During this period, saints of Bhakti cult and Sufi tradition brought in social and religious transformation. They stressed on the importance of global brotherhood and taught that the best way to attain moksha is to follow the path of Bhakti cult. Bhakti Yoga is also called Bhakti Marg, is a spiritual path or spiritual practice within Hinduism focused on loving devotion towards any personal deity. The Bhakti Marg involving these deities grew with the Bhakti movement starting from Tamil Nadu in South India. The movement was led by Saiva Nayanars and Vaishnava Alvars. Their idea and practices inspired Bhakti poetry and devotion throughout India over the 12th and 18th century. Bhakti cult condemned discrimination. It preached equality. The saints of Bhakti cult opposed and condemned superstitious practices. They undertook the task of uniting hearts of people. According to Sufi saints, dharma is love and service to mankind. God is one, not many. They be preached. The devotional outpouring of the Alvars, composed during the early medieval period of Tamil history, helped revive the Bhakti movement through their hymns of worship to Vishnu and his avatars. The poetry of the Alvars echoes Bhakti to God through love, and in the ecstasy of such devotion, they sang hundreds of songs which embodied both depth of feeling and felicity of expressions. Bhakti heritage in South India. Andal, also known as Goda Devi, is the only female Alvar among the 12 Alvar saints of South India. The Alvar saints are known for their affiliation to Sri Vaishnava tradition of Hinduism. She was an adopted daughter of Vishnu Chitha, who was also an Alvar. They were also called Periyalvar. They were devotees of Krishna. Her father used to make flower garlands and offered it to Krishna temple of Sri Viliputtur. Andal proclaimed that she would rather die than marry any mortal, while Meera married a king, but considered Krishna as her real husband. Andal loved Krishna and claimed that he was her husband. She wrote Thirupamai and dedicated it to God. In Tamil Nadu, Thirupamai Vratha is very famous. According to Alvars, all Vishnu devotees are equal and their birth should not be questioned. They believe that the caste discrimination is a criminal offense. Akka Mahadevi was one of the early female poets of Kannada literature. She was an enterprising woman in the Vachan movement of the 12th century. She was born in Uduthai of Shivamogga district. Her father was Nirmala Shetty and mother Sumati. Akka immersed in Shiv Bhakti since childhood. Akka Mahadevi left the palace, renouncing all her possessions, including clothes, to travel to Sri Sailam, home of god Shiva. Later, she stayed at Anubhava Mantap in Kalyan for some time. Then she wrote many vachanas under the pen name Channa Mallikarjuna. She is believed to have travelled toward the end of her life to Sri Sailam mountains, where she lived as an ascetic and eventually died. She is considered by the modern scholars to be a prominent figure in the field of female emancipation, a household name in Karnataka. She wrote that she was the only woman in name and that her mind, body, and soul belonged to Shiv. Her Vachan poems are a form of spontaneous mystical poems, and the two short writings called Mantra Gopaya and the Yogangatra Vidhi are considered her most notable contributions to Kannada literature. She considered god Shiva, Chinna Mallikarjuna, as her husband. Purandara Das. He was a composer, singer, and one of the chief founding proponents of Carnatic music. He was a wealthy merchant of gold, silver, and other miscellaneous jewelry from Karnataka, who gave all his material riches to become Haridas, a devotional singer who made the difficult Sanskrit tenets of Srimad Bhagavad Gatam available to everyone in simple and melodious songs. Purandara Das was the only son of wealthy merchant Varadappa Nayak and his wife Leelavati. He was named Srinivas Nayak. He acquired proficiency in Kannada, Sanskrit, and sacred music through education. He travelled to many places, singing kirtans, and at last reached Krishnadevaraya's court. Vyasraya gave him Diksha and called him Purandara. Later he became Purandara Das. He was praised by his own guru teacher Vyasraya as Purandara Das is ultimate as a Das. He condemned the caste system. His social reforms, Purandara Das tried to reform existing social practices and preached through devotional songs in the local Kannada language, Vaishnavism, and has been rendered in simple language. Casteism. Purandara Das fought the evils of casteism through his songs. In this song, he emphasizes that one's birth cannot merely decide the highness or lowness of any individual. He asked people to do their best in the world, to provide food and charity to the poor, help others, and give up attachments. He was against the caste system and believed true caste was based on character and not on birth. According to Purandara Das, there were no inequalities among men and women. Both of them had same rights and obligations in their conduct of everyday life as well as observation of pity. Purandara Das made some forceful expressions on untouchability. He opines that an individual should not be branded untouchable on the basis of his or her birth in any specific caste. However, it is rather his conduct which should make him untouchable, if at all he can be called so. Following features were seen in Purandara's song. We can see humanness in all his songs. We can see the combination of philosophy, moral, and musical qualities in his song. He wrote kirtans under the pen name of Purandara Vitthal. He is known as the Karnataka Sangeet Pitamaha, father of Carnatic music. Kanakdas was a Haridas, a renowned composer of Carnatic music, poet, philosopher, and musician. He was born about 1508 CE at Bada village of Bankapura Taluk in Haveri district. Thimmappa was his original name. Birappa and Bachama were his parents. He was a warrior and also a poet. Adi Keshav was his personal god. He headed over a group of 78 villages. It is said that he found a potful of gold and he came to be known as Kanakanayaka. He renounced worldly things and became a disciple of Vyasaraya. He is known for his kirtans and ugabhog, compositions in the Kannada language for Carnatic music. Kanakadas has composed many kirtans with the pen name of Adi Keshav. Some features of his song: he has criticized the superstitions of society in his songs and has preached the simple path of attaining moksha in them. He has also criticized caste system in his songs. Kanakdas wrote songs about 240 Carnatic music compositions, besides 5 major works. His compositions are published in many languages. Kanakdas rationalized bhakti by giving worldly similes. He condemns the caste system in a refined poetic way, and the others wonder at this colorful and baffling creation of God's Almighty in childlike wonder. Being from a lower caste, by tradition, he was forbidden to enter the temple and have darshan of Sri Krishna. The wall of the shrine was of course a barrier to the physical eyes. But who could prevent the vision of his inner eyes? They were fully open and Sri Krishna was visible to Kanakdas. Some time passed and then one night, when Kanakdas' willingness and desire to have darshan of Lord Sri Krishna, there was an earthquake from God's grace and a small crack appeared in the wall of the shrine of the temple. Then Lord Krishna turned from east to west to give darshan to great Saint Sri Kanakadas. Through this crack, Kanakadas was able to have darshan of the icon of Krishna. Shri Vaidyaraj Tirth became aware of this crack and of the fact that Kanakdas was using it to have darshan of Shri Krishna. Instead of having the crack plastered over, Shri Vaidyaraj enlarged it and turned it into a window. To commemorate Lord Shri Krishna's darshan to Kanakadas, the window has been designated as Kanakakindi. Shishunala Sharif. Sant Shishunala Sharif was born in Shishuvinnahala, a village in Shegaon Taluk in Karnataka. He was the son of Imam Sahib, who was the disciple of Hajaresh Qadri, whose dream it was to unite Hinduism and Islam. Hajaresh Qadri used to give Linga Diksha or initiation by tying a ling around the neck of a disciple. As per the Hindu Lingayat tradition, his father used to teach him Ramayana, Mahabharata, and even teachings of Allama Prabhu. Legend has it that Shishunal Sharif was conceived with the blessings of Basavanna. Even when Shishunal was a boy, he was taught the tenets of both religion. In his birthplace, Shishuvinnahala, even today, both Hindu and Muslim revere him as a saint at the same temple. Govind Bhatt, a Brahmin, was famous in the region and an unconventional master. He cared little for caste or religion and spent more time with anyone who invited him and ate anywhere he felt like eating. Later, Shishunal passed the Mulki exams and served as a teacher for some time. He took Diksha from Govind Bhatt and wrote many Tattvapads. In his poem, one can find Rivayat, Muharram words. Among those songs, Kalagapad, Dharmika, Nithipad, Alavipad, Sawal Jawab Pad are famous. He tried to spread humanity beyond the barriers of caste and religion. Sharif followed Govind Bhatt back to his village. This boy was found to be curious about matters beyond logic and the world, and about the secrets of creation. These qualities were nurtured by Govind Bhatt. Society was surprised by their closeness. In the eyes of Muslim, the master of the kafir, and for Brahmins, the boy was a mecha, which means outsider. A samadhi stan was constructed in Shishuvinhala in a vast compound. There, statues of both Govind Bhatt Sharif Govind Bhatt and Sharif are visited by both Hindus and Muslims. To this day, Shishunal Sharif is known as the Kabir of Karnataka. Thank you.